there, and they were asking the American historians who the great presidents of the United States were, and they were making judgments, the order of the American presidents. And during that time, people were asking, what are you looking for in terms of the great presidents? And they all came to about the same answers. First of all, does the individual have a vision about what this country is, what it should be, and what it can be in the world? Do they have a vision? Do they have good judgment? Do they have good judgment to be able to carry on that vision? Do they have the personal courage to be able to carry that forth? Are they able to inspire people to follow them and to come together? When I listened to the criteria these historians were looking, I said the answers to each and every one of these questions is Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. So, my friends, we have the candidates, we have the issues. And we saw in that committee the contribution that Barack made when we saw the greatest increase in help and assistance to the students on our education legislation that we have had since the passage of the GI Bill. And this is what we did. We took $20 billion from the banks and devoted half of that money for Pell Grants. The number of young people, older people as well, that are attending this community college that need that help and assistance. We've increased the help and assistance. And secondly, what we did, we said that no individual is going to have to pay more than 15% of their income back to repay a loan. And if they work in a public interest, responsibility, or in a firm, or for working with children, special needs, if they work with law enforcement, but they do that for a period of time, all of their loan will be forgiven. What we were basically saying is that we have seen the idealism of the young people in this nation. We have seen the sense and the feeling of young people that want to give something back to this country. And we have seen that. And one of the leaders in that battle that we had in the United States Senate was Barack Obama, working the system to pay and shape the education program. I can look around this room and we see the young people who believe in Barack Obama and believe in the future of this country. So many of them have been willing to work and help and assist in communities, but so few have been willing to say, okay, I'll involve myself in the political process in order to make a difference and change the direction of the country. I can remember another time when Republicans tried to turn the lights out. I remember another time when we were able, they do that often up here. About it, Governor, they did it to you. I'll have to get hold of Richardson and tell him to pay the bill up here. I remember another time when young people made such a difference in the country. In the early 1960s, young people were leaving schools and colleges and going down to sit at the lunch counters with Dr. Martin Luther King. Young people walked the Pettus Bridge with Martin Luther King Jr. Young people came to the Washington Monument at the time he made those great speech about I have a dream about the future of America. Young people made the difference. They turned the country around. They turned the country around. Young people came to the United States Senate and they turned us around so that we passed the laws in the Voting Rights Act, in the Public Accommodations Act, in the Housing Act, all to knock down the walls of discrimination. Young people were in the vanguard, and then you know what happened? Young people went out to knock down the walls of discrimination against women on the issues of gender. They knocked down those walls, and we made enormous progress. And then you know what else happened? They said we're going to do something about those who have been living in the shadows of life too, the disabled, and the young people. We passed the Americans with Disability Act. Young people have been in the vanguard of important change, and they're asking for that opportunity now. Are we going to give them that opportunity now with the election of Barack Obama? At the table that I sat on, and I asked each and every one of them why they had volunteered for the Peace Corps. And they all had virtually the same answer. They said this was the first time that anyone had asked us to do anything for the country. And what you found out are all those young people and older people that wanted to do something for our country, that wanted to be a part of the solution to the challenges that we're facing. Whether those are in education, whether those are in healthcare, whether it's in jobs or economy or ending the war, or whether it is in terms of a sane and responsible immigration policy. None of the young people want to be a part of the solution. And the challenge that we're facing, the challenge that we're facing, are we going to give them the opportunity to do it? And the challenge New Mexico is facing is whether next Tuesday, when the eyes of the nation are going to be on New Mexico, whether you, over the period of these next hours, are going to take the time, give the energy, talk to your friends, and go out and make sure that you're going to show up at those caucuses and going to vote for Barack Obama. Are you going to do it? Look forward to working with Barack Obama as we are going to reform our immigration legislation in this country and really send a message throughout the world. I, in my office in Boston, can look out the window of my office and I see a pier in Boston Harbor. And on that pier that's still there, in 1848, 8 of my grandparents came to the city of Boston. And I can look 100 yards to the northwest of that, and I see the steps. They call it the Golden Steps. They're there. When you come to Boston, you have a chance to walk up those steps. Up those steps, all of my 8 grandparents, and walked on into East Boston with nothing other than the shirt on their back, the willingness to work, devotion to their faith, a desire to bring up a family, and to try and make America a better country. They were devoted to work, family, their religion, this country. It seems to me we have millions in this country now that are refused to be given legality, that have the same motivation, the same desire. And I'm reminded as a member of the Armed Services Committee that 70,000 Latinos have served in Iraq and served in Afghanistan. And I'm reminded as I look over those casualty lists that close to 12% of all of those that are killed or wounded are Latinos of this. And I say it is about time that we have our immigration consistent with our values in how we are going to treat and Barack Obama. Este martes, y vamos a ganar en noviembre. I want to tell you, when Barack Obama raises his hand as President of the United States, a new day for America, a new day for the world. Thank you, Senator Perry.